Someone in my Facebook group asked the question, did anything good come from ME CFS? Got me thinking about that. Now, there was nothing good about having ME CFS, missing out on lots of things, not being able to work, not being able to enjoy my life, letting people down, not being able to earn money. However, if I think about did anything good come from having the condition, then actually I did learn things. I was forced to learn things when I had ME CFS that have actually benefited me. So first of all, when I got sick, I had to learn how to rest. And by rest, I mean actually relaxing, letting go, allowing my mind and body to relax. Now, that was not something I could do before I had ME CFS. If someone had said to me, you will spend time doing nothing, I wouldn't believe them, because before I got sick, I was always on the go. And even, I remember being on holiday with friends and it got to midnight, I still wanted to keep going because I had the tendency to burn the candle at both ends. So that was something I had to learn. I had to learn how to pause and tune into what was going on internally. So I had to learn how to experience the emotions I was feeling, express them in helpful ways and process them. Now, before I had ME CFS, if I was feeling upset, annoyed, frustrated, I would tend to go into distracting activities. I'd go for a run, I'd go and play football, or I might kind of watch a film, and I wouldn't really address what was going on. That wasn't massively a problem before I had ME CFS, but when I had ME CFS, actually, if I was upset and I watched a stimulating film, an action movie, that would just leave me feeling depleted. And what I needed to do is to learn how to just work through those emotions. And for instance, I started practicing this exercise a while back. And I remember one time I was frustrated, annoyed about something, and I spotted that tendency that I had to want to go and move into distracting activities. But instead, I did this exercise called Flip the Switch. It's a really simple exercise where you connect to that best version of you and you take care of that part of you that's feeling a little bit upset. And actually what happened is I fell asleep, and it made me realize, gosh, my body was actually quite tired. And in the past, I would have just overridden that and kind of exhausted myself even more. So another thing I learned is that I had to embrace the growth mindset at another level. I was already interested in the whole idea of personal growth and development. The growth mindset is all about believing that we can learn. We might have an issue that's kind of holding us back, but we can learn to work with that, shift it, grow and develop. So I realized I also needed to change my mindset at a drastic level. So I had to work on the issues that were keeping me stuck. I had to work on limiting beliefs. I had to work on low self-esteem because this caused more stress in my life. So for example, if I didn't speak up because I worried that someone would judge me, then that was just causing me internal tension. I was swallowing stuff rather than getting it out of my system. So I had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to care less about what others think, and I had to learn to be more of my true, authentic self. Now, obviously, there's times when it might be appropriate to not speak up if your safety is in question. But I realized I had that tendency to kind of not be confrontational or not to push back because I worried what others would think. I had to learn how to let go of that. I also had to learn how to be more compassionate towards myself and others. Okay, so in the past I used to be really hard on myself if I made mistakes, and I had to learn how to let go of that. And what I also realized, even though I was pretty compassionate towards other people, when there were people around me who were difficult, I found them difficult, I found their behaviors triggering, the more I kind of embraced the notion that they're doing those behaviors because they are wounded and because happy, content people don't behave like that, then I found that I had more compassion for those people. That resulted in less stress, which supported my body's healing. I needed to learn to be more patient with the process of healing, because what I realized is that more we try and force something, again, we're creating tension, and that does not support the body's healing. I have this idea that, let's say, recovery is at some point in the future. There are things that we can do that move that point a little bit further away, and there are things that we can do that move that a little bit closer. Having acceptance for where I am was one of those things. Okay, the more resistant we are, the more, again, we create tension. And Byron Katie says, when you resist, you lose, but only 100% of the time. Okay, so I need to be more patient, more accepting. I had to learn how to shift from being an anxious person, or a person who generated anxiety, and that was me before I got ME CFS, to someone who was more calm. You know, my calm levels have increased massively. I used to worry about what I said. I used to worry that I'd upset people, and I had to learn to let go of all of that. A huge shift, and that this is one of the most important things, is that I had to learn to go from fear to having a greater sense of trust, that things are going to work out. And this has been a really big thing for me, because in the past I really didn't have much sense of trust. As I said, I had to learn to let go of what others thought about me and not be a people pleaser. Sometimes you have to rock the boat. Otherwise, we are teaching people how to treat us. Okay. I realized I had to take on board that there's 3 types of business. There's your business, there's my business, and then there's other business. Some people call it God's business, but that's the stuff that either you or I can't control. So for instance, if someone's upset with me, but I think actually my behavior is reasonable, then I have to just let go of that and recognize that's their business. They need to take care of that. So ultimately, I did need to learn to take better care of myself. You know, there were times when I wasn't establishing healthy boundaries for myself and for other people. And I had to do that in order to support my healing, my health, and my life. In essence, I did have to change, I would say, my personality. All right. Now that's a contentious issue. Some people will say you can't change your personality, but you know, I'm a very different person than I used to be. You know, if we talk about type A, type B personalities, type A is impatient, overachieving, all that sort of stuff. Type B is more patient, relaxed, etc. I'm definitely more of the latter now. I still have goals, I still want to achieve things, but I do it in a way that's much more sustainable. I would not want to go back to the person I was before I got sick, because that me didn't know how to live a healthy, sustainable life. I hope that's given you some food for thought. If you'd like me to talk more about any of those issues, then comment below. If you'd like the flip the switch exercise I mentioned, it's either below this video or comment flip and tag me, and I will PM you the link. Keep going, you've got this. Wishing you great health.